So these are my recommendations for the slow format. The thing is, a lot of decks are still gonna, people are gonna opt for certain decks that give them speed. They're gonna go back to some decks that already was, fast, because they don't want to slow down. They don't want to play the slow format. They're gonna take advantage of the slow format. They're gonna take advantage of certain, of people wanting to play simpler decks where you're not doing all these different combos in a single turn, where like max C will have no relevance because they're gonna normal summon, or they're gonna special summon one time per turn, so you're not gonna get the fullness of max C's, and most of their effects are gonna be during your turn, so Vader's gonna have no use either. So that's how the slow format's gonna be. That's where I see it. So to help out with scenarios like that, the fact that some decks are still going to be kind of fast, or if you go up against a slow deck, you can have these cards in your sideboard or main them. I would prefer to main them, but that's how I play. Y'all like to use side decks, so y'all can just side these in and out whenever you want. So what I recommend, Fissure, because it doesn't target, so it's great against Obelisk, what's her name, Blue Eyes Maiden, Slacker Magician, monsters that have they get effects from being targeted or have protection against being targeted. Let's see, it's good in general, because if your opponent has a strong monster and a weak monster, you can attack the weak monster, deal some damage to get rid of the weak monster, and then play Fissure main phase 2 to get rid of the big monster. And then that's how you'll be able to clear the field and still deal optimal damage. As opposed to what you normally would do is you'll take down the big monster first and then take down the little one later, or reverse, take down the little one, hopefully the big one doesn't get bigger, doesn't get stronger, and then take that monster down later. Wow, that's interesting. I lost connection. Alright, give it a second. My computer's been acting slow lately. I blame hackers for that. Constantly getting attacked. No matter how many times I clean out the computer, something jumps in. So I'll figure that out later. How to protect my computer more. Where was I? Plus, I want to get a new computer eventually. So hopefully, I get to that point. I can get a new laptop, because I had a new laptop, then I spilled soda all over it and messed it up. Then I ended up selling it for like $50, even though it cost me like $260. I ended up selling it for $50, which was okay, just because I still had this laptop, so it's not a big deal. But it would have been nice to still have the other laptop, since I did pay a lot of money for it. Alright, back to what I was saying. Again, so Fissure doesn't target, and it's a 1-for-1, so there's no discarding, and I know a lot of players like to be able to play a card and not have to discard and whatnot, even though there's nothing too wrong with discarding, because it doesn't matter. Whatever you throw in the graveyard, you can always get it back later anyway, so it's not a problem discarding. So like Lightning Vortex would be awesome because it doesn't target and it gets rid of more monsters. But if you just want to get rid of just one simple monster, wow. Offerings to Doom is a great card to use in a slow format. It's good in general, but it would be good in a slow format. It's a quick play, so you can set it and use it during your opponent's turn to interrupt his plays, especially against like blue gen decks and whatnot. So that's always good. It's good in general. Sometimes you just need to get rid of something. It's also great against Ophion, because let's say you play Feisure, for example, and then your opponent plays Infestation Pandemonium. So they play their spell card to protect them, and then you'll chain Offerings to Doom and get rid of them anyway, and then start summoning your monster. So that's great because it is a quick play. It comes handy in certain scenarios. Obviously since it's a quick play, you can play from the hand during the battle, so that comes in handy against Gores, Trag, battle stoppers, the usual battle stoppers. It's good against certain combos. Like the Warlock or something like that. Like you'll be able to respond to getting rid of something before they even fulfill the Warlock. So it's good to just getting rid of monsters period that just can't die by battle, or monsters that like it's good against Colossal Fighter, stuff like that. Things of that nature. Crimson Blader, anything. So just think about it. It's a quick play. You can set it, use it during your opponent's turn, or you can play it during your turn after you already drew, and then take care of the threat. Burden and the Mighty, just because people we're gonna go back into synchro summoning again, so there's gonna be more synchros, dragon rulers, or dragon plants as they call them now. They're still a deck, and they don't exceed as much. They still can, but they don't see it as much as the rank 7 E Dragon Ruler version. So they're going to synchro more, they're just going to summon more. So this is a great way to make them weaker so you can run them over easier. It's just great in general. In the stack, you have 2 on the field, your opponent's monster is going to be really weak, so it'll be easy for you to run them over and get certain monster effects. If you run spellcasters. If you run spellcasters, whether it be a lot or some, this is a great card. This will slow down your opponent because you can lock them out of playing spells, so that comes in handy. And since you already have responses, you have back roll that can slow your opponent down. This is a great card to play, especially when you can play Dodger and the Spiritualist with this. Now they can't special summon, and their spells are locked, and then you got your back row. And since Heavy Storm is gone, even though they still can't play spells, it's just the idea that Heavy Storm is gone. You don't have to. This just makes it even more dangerous, because it's like, all right, even if you do get rid of the field spell, it's not like you're gonna get rid of my whole entire back row, because Heavy Storm is currently banned. So this is a good way to protect your stuff from MST and the simple 1-for-1 cards until you build up a really strong back row that your opponent can't really get over. Granted, Black Rose still exists, but you can always chain a skill drain to that and epic fail, right? You could also veil it on the other good stuff. And these are just some of my recommendations. Obviously, there's probably tons more cards that can slow down the meta or give you an advantage against fast decks or slow decks, whichever way. But these are some good cards that could be used in the slow format.